Go.
Here we are.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Dylan Talks Tone Q&A that we do every Thursday night. There are no hot wings this week. We'll give you a full report on that as well in the off-topic section afterwards, after 9 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about guitar stuff for an hour. We've got one question from Patreon tonight.
That's it?
Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of time for your guitar-related questions and an interesting conversation that I want to have with you all. We'll get into that in a minute. If you want to ask questions and make sure that they are guaranteed to be answered during the show, you can do two things. You can go to patreon.com/DylanTalksTone, or you can hit the little join button down there on the YouTubes. One question from Patreon. And you can ask them ahead of time, and then we make sure that we feature them through the show. So I actually make a post about that every Thursday. The other thing you can do is use a super chat, and we will drop what we're doing and answer that question immediately, or just acknowledge whatever you want. Sometimes people are just like, I just wanted to send you a super chat, or one of those little stickers with the jumping up and down things and stuff. So people just do that too. So whatever.
Or
like that.
Some people, like Van Shank Guitars, is celebrating 30 months of membership.
What?
And he said, "What?"
Nice.
I don't know if
Thanks,
that's
Van Shank.
use,
Hopefully it's not super smoky where you live, because he's in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, so that's how we do this thing, and it's fun. And we're going to talk about guitar stuff for a while, and then after 9 o'clock, we go off topic. We just talk off topic stuff. And I'll tell you, we went out of town last weekend, and we'll tell you all about that. We're going out of town this weekend. We'll tell you all about that. And whatever else other questions you want to ask us that are off topic of guitars after 9 o'clock. I want to direct your attention to the links in the description below, because that is how we sponsor our show. We don't really have sponsors. DylanTalksTone.com, that's where you can go to buy pickups. That's the number one thing you can do to support this channel. And the other number one thing you can do to support the channel is like, share, and subscribe, and share this with everybody. Share it with one person. If everybody shared it with one person, everybody subscribed, we would be at 100,000, and I'm trying to get to that this year. Also, you can use those links in the description. They don't cost you anything to shop at Sweetwater, to shop at StewMac, to shop at Runway Audio Cables, but it does help out the channel just a little bit. So there you go. There's all the housekeeping stuff. The thumbnail for tonight, this is what I want to know. Basically, and this is just going to turn into an open discussion. I don't think we need to necessarily capture stuff out of there, but we're just going to turn into an open discussion. I want to know from you what you feel, two things, are underrated pieces of gear and overrated pieces of gear. What I do not want this to be, this is not a brand bashing thing. Gibsons are overrated. Not that. This is not that. This is, because this will be different from everybody, and I kind of want to get an idea. This is just fun to talk about. You as a guitar player are going to make different choices about your gear than me. You see me use something, and you're like, I would never use that. Tonex, for example. You might think that's totally overrated because it does not fit in your rig whatsoever, right? And then the underrated thing, like, I totally want this because I know I would make use of it. I just don't have it. Or this is the one piece of gear that I use the most that I will never get rid of. So this is not a brand bashing, I hate Gibson, because basically, here's what happens if you post something like this on Facebook. It's this. Everybody says every expensive thing they either can't or won't pay for is overrated. And everybody says that every cheap thing that you can get a dime a dozen is underrated. That's basically what happens. So that's not what this is. This is for your use case. And I use this term, and I stole this.
I thought you were doing like this out of the corner of my eye.
I stole this from the Honest Outlaw Gun channel. Philosophy of use. Like, every different tool has a philosophy of use, and you might have a different philosophy of use than I do for a particular piece of gear. So what is the most underrated thing that you think you need the most, and the most overrated thing that's like, everybody else wants one, but I see no point in it? Okay? That's what we want to talk about. It's more about...
And then, so why are we not capturing thing? How is
we
it
can
an open
capture it.
conversation?
We can capture it. You're right. It's better. Do it your way.
I was like, open
Do it your way.
conversation by yourself?
No. Do it your way. Let's ask the one Patreon question, and then we will get directly into that, okay? Because there is only one. And I'm going to pour myself some Talisker. See how
Why is there 2 here then? Oh, never mind. I did that.
Yep.
Rob F. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. I wish to repair a chip on my niece's kid's Ibanez 3/4 scale. As one would expect, it has a poly finish. I found an acrylic-based fingernail polish that is a close color match. Can I use it and then apply a clear poly resin? Any and all advice is appreciated.
This would be a Chris Fesker, Matt at Texas Toast question. I think that what can happen with nail stuff isn't nails made from a bit of a solvent, right? Like, so, no, you would know this. So if you take one color of nail polish and you put another color over it, if it's not right, they'll melt together, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Who mixes nail polish?
I would worry that you would get a solvent underneath the finish and then it would make it worse.
I paint my fingernails so often.
If you don't know, I know, and you just have somebody do it usually when you...
That's been years.
I suppose it's been a while since you've done that.
Years. Literally years.
I know. I was thinking about it yesterday while I was watching TV that I could really use a pedicure right now. Anyway, I don't know that nail polish would be the right move. I would move away from that, but I think you should ask somebody that knows more about guitar finishes than me, because that's just kind of not my area.
That's your official answer, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sometimes I just don't know stuff.
Haas says just use a sticker.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Actually, after that story I told you about that guitar that had water slide decals of like pinup girls on it, I was shopping for some. Because
Pinup girls or stickers?
Pinup girl water slide decals.
Okay.
Because I think the guitar that Doc made for me needs that.
Really? You're not even like a decal person.
No, I know. But for some reason, that guitar, I think, needs like that punk rock kind of... That's mine, right? I'm never going to get rid of that. So that's like, you know...
So you're trying to be punk?
Yeah, I'm trying. That might be my punk rock machine. All right.
Your sister's competing with you. She's live on Instagram right now.
Oh. Her name is Leslie, too.
Not two, but, you know.
Also. All right. So, what are people saying is their most underrated and overrated pieces of gear? I am very curious about this.
Well, apparently they have a lot of thoughts. All right. So before you clarified, there were things coming in, okay? So Hawkman Hawk says Rickenbacker. Ada says, I don't know how you say that.
More
Is that it? It's just...
More processors are underrated. Okay, good example, actually, because they're... Okay, keep going.
Question. BC Rich 581, vote for the most underrated gear, USA-made PV basses and guitars from the 80s and 90s.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Question. Vox Guitars Rock. My vote for most underrated piece of gear, EQ pedal. Overrated, the specific brand of OD pedal.
Oh, okay. So worrying about what OD pedal it is, just get a good one and use it. All right. Corey Foregrave, what's up, man?
So super chat from Foregrave. Corey Foregrave. Thank you for the super chat, Corey. Underrated. I underrated Juniors and P90 because of how they looked. Overrated. I never found a place for Klondike style pedals.
Klon-like style pedals is probably what he meant to say. Okay, okay,
Like
okay.
Klondike.
I get it. I get it. I kind of feel the same as you actually on that. And thank you for the super chat, Corey.
That was funny. Sorry, I just read it.
But what would you do for a Klon-like pedal? Sorry.
Jeez. I'm not ready for this. It's too early. Too early.
At least we're not eating hot sauce.
Marsha Murray said he knows of a mani-pedi place that gives free beer. That would be awesome.
They always want to give you cheap box wine. And
Where?
I've been to places where they want to give you a glass of wine, and it's like, this stuff is crap. And
Nowhere we've ever been. Nobody's giving me wine.
the place over on Exit 5, I thought gave us wine. We went there once. Yep.
I don't think they gave us wine, but I do know what you're talking about now.
And it was fancier feeling, but it wasn't very good.
It wasn't good at all. We only went once. All right. Holy moly.
Do we have a lot of questions?
No, we have a lot of people sending stuff in.
Keep going.
Keep going what? I'm going to lose my place.
Oh, okay.
Timothy Potter says a whammy bar on an acoustic is overrated.
That's awesome.
BC Rich 581, overrated. Ampeg SVT bass amp.
Okay.
Sean McCartney, Fender GTX 100 is way underrated.
Oh, interesting.
John OJF, a Tonex. I got a Johnson Millennium 20 years ago. Not my thing. Amp modeling is cool, just not for me.
20 years ago is not the same thing as now. People that say that, I'll be nice. Moving on.
I don't know. BALTIPSZLR. Ball tip sizzler. I don't know. Yamaha guitars.
Probably underrated. A lot of people really like those.
Ada. I feel like Klon Centaur is overrated.
That's a really good pedal, but somebody said earlier, Corey Foregrave, that you have to have a place for it, and a lot of people don't. I think it's very specific.
Yeah, he sent in another comment. So he was saying their Yamaha guitars are way underrated.
Yeah, for sure.
BC Rich 581, underrated. Hip shot bass extender key.
Oh, interesting. Easy tool.
Jeffrey Egan, I'm not a professional musician nor have the skill to decide what is over or underrated.
Yeah, me either. We just play and we like the stuff, right?
Robert Olin, the Spark Mini is totally underrated as well as much of the modeling stuff.
I agree. It's getting better, isn't it?
Savannah Norton, I second the original Klon as being overrated. John OJF, underrated is a boutique guitar.
I would agree. A good one, made by somebody who knows what they're doing, as long as it's a good one, and not just some guy in their garage who thinks he's a boutique builder, it can change your life. It's for sure.
Gary Simmons, I think the low B string on a 5-string bass is underrated. It's not just about getting notes below E.
You know, that's really true. One of my good buddies in town here that plays bass, he plays nothing but 5 strings. He will not go without that. And it's totally, I get it.
Angel Raven 444, most underrated gear is refrigerator-sized Leslie speaker rig, and the most overrated gear is custom shop guitar over $10K.
I would go the opposite direction with that, but okay. Yeah.
Jason Albert says underrated gear, Dylan pickups. Overrated, all other pickups.
Thanks, man.
Hawkman Hawks. For me, newer Marshalls are overrated and older PV tube amps are underrated.
That's interesting. I kind of agree with you, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking that through, but yeah. What's interesting about this stuff is when you can have a conversation like this and not be mean about it, because Facebook just gets mean, right? In groups and stuff. But what we're obviously disagreeing on stuff like the Tonex thing and whatever, but it just shows how differently people use gear. I think it's different. It's just use case is so interesting. And one of the reasons I asked this is because it tells me also what you all like using and what you do like using. Because most people are going to put in their underrated category something they probably own, usually, right? Like, I have this and nobody gives it enough attention online. That's typically what happens. So this is a sneaky way of me finding out what kind of everybody has and what they're into. Sort of like when we do the gear roasts, which we need to do another one.
You need a new name.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
All right. You want some more?
Yep, let's do it.
Marty K. Most underrated. Modeling amp played through a good PA speaker versus a tube amp.
Yep, agreed. Based on application.
Curtis Chavez. Overrated and underrated in one pedal. Metal zone.
Exactly. Perfect example. Depends how you use it.
I think Haas is calling me out. He said underrated. Your ability to decipher typos. Or maybe he's calling you out.
No, yours. You have
You
an excellent...
deciphered it.
Oh.
The Klondike.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe so.
Maybe. I don't know.
Underrated. Leslie's ability to run these comment sections for us every week. I think about it every time on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this by myself.
Svea Norton says high quality instrument cables are underrated.
Amen. There's a link below. Runway Audio. Go get you some. 10% off.
Gus Ferreira. I don't know. Ferreira? That's the wrong number of syllables. I don't know. Gus, I'm sorry. I botched your last name. Court guitars are underrated. CTS pots are overrated.
So I build stuff with pots in them every day, and they are definitely better than a lot of the other stuff that's out there, quality wise. And I can tell you because we hand pick our pots that we use, and there's a reason why we use what we use. Yeah. They're definitely better than some of that other stuff. And that's coming from I have to reach into a bin every day and use this stuff, solder it together, measure stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a quality piece for sure. Over a cheap Alpha. I mean, the Alpha stuff that they put in nicer guitars is good, but a lot of the Alpha Mini pots and a lot of the other knockoff pots are not as good. I do like Bournes too, but a lot of people don't like how they feel. So there is a quality thing there for sure. But if you're not a person who uses his knobs a lot, what are you even doing with your life? But if you are that person, then it doesn't matter what pots you have in there. Just leave everything on 10.
Yeah. Ada, I have your question, but we're going to finish up this discussion and then we'll do questions.
Yeah, we're going to do questions here in about...
But I have yours.
Probably 5 minutes.
Black Star says tube screamers are overrated.
That's an application thing. So in your application, you might just hate them. Yeah.
Hat Mike.
I told you he changed it.
Yeah. Hat Mike. I haven't met him though. I just
He's
remember
awesome.
the name. Hat Mike. Underrated tone knobs. I think people who dime them or don't want them are missing out.
Ding, 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 ding.
Martian Murray says, I hope the Katana Air Wireless is underrated because I just ordered one. Hat Mike says overrated. Treble bleeds because they mess with how the tone knobs work.
Amen. This is why I like this guy. And he wears a hat all the time.
Vox Guitars rock. modeling amps are underrated.
Amen.
Curtis Chavez, most underrated, Parker guitars. Most overrated, Dumble amps. I love Dumbles, but a guitar amp over $10K.
That usually comes from people who have not gotten to spend any real time with them. They're expensive because they're collector's items, but their ability to amplify a guitar is unmatched. I understand the cost problem because of the collectability, but if you take the collectability part out of it, because the dude's dead and there aren't very many, the amp is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I've gotten to spend a fair amount of time with real Dumbles, and they are very good. But I see your point, but yeah, kind of a nuanced thing there.
All right. Doug Santinello says Schecter guitars, underrated.
Amen. I've got one. I love that thing.
Ed Dupree says underrated. My gratitude.
He's going deep.
Yes. It's Victoria G says the Ariel model by Brian May Guitars is underrated. And yes, I own one.
I want to try one of those. That's a cool guitar.
Ed Dupree says overrated. My expectations.
Nice. I like this dude.
Roderick Robinson, underrated. Baritone guitars.
See, and I think they're totally pointless. And it's because I can't figure out how to make them do what I want them to do. It's not anything wrong with the instrument, obviously. It's me. But yes, I see why people like them, because they're cool. Go ahead.
Would you like to announce
No,
them?
I just saw the name. I'm sorry. Do it.
Super chat from Stu Crombie. I almost said
It's
McCrombie because
Mac.
I know McCrombie as a name. Like, so I almost did that. Like,
I thought you were going to say Stu Mac.
oh no.
Oh, okay.
Why would I care about that? Stu Crombie. Thanks for the super chat.
Because there's
Stu.
a link in the description. If you use the link, it helps out the channel.
Thanks for the Thursday guitar and general talk both.
Thank you. Thank you, Stu.
With a thumbs up.
With no Mac. Robbie.
Yes. No Mac. We got enough Macs over here for
Yeah.
MC squared.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. Just trying to grab a couple while I'm over here. Black Reaper Metal, underrated. AMT Electronics pedals.
Never heard of him. Wonder if he makes them.
I don't know. Rusty Shackelford. What is wrong with me? Noiseless pickups are either very overrated or very underrated. I have the Ultra Noiseless, and they don't sound bad or great. I'm not sure if it would matter, though, through a PA, and at least no hum. I don't know.
Isn't that interesting that there is some stuff like that? It just falls in mediocre, and then for some reason you don't want it. That's kind of where I'm at with noiseless pickups, too. I just don't like them because they're just hiccups, you know?
Mike says underrated. Fast turnaround on pickups you didn't expect to see anytime soon.
That's because we're trying to do what we can do around here. We are turning it up, let me tell you.
Vox Guitars rock. Most underrated pedal. Digitech Bad Monkey. Just ask Josh at JHS.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Sean McCartney. The Gibson Les Paul Studio is probably underrated.
Probably. I think people overlook that guitar, and it is very good. I would have to agree.
So, I don't know who the Analog, I'm just going to read this one. Analog Kid Digital Man says, hello, Dylan and Leslie. Do you know who this is? No.
No.
So I wanted to go ahead and read that so that then you could tell me who you are.
Yes.
Apparently I'm supposed to know. Alonzo White says, overrated. Multi-effect pedals. I've owned 2 different pedals and each lasted less than 2 years.
Wow.
Wore it out.
Yep. You must play a lot.
I don't know why my sound comes out as a super chat sound. Maybe I'm like
You're trying to will them. Yeah, you're trying to like will the super chats.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
BC Rich 581 overrated. Precision bass underrated. GNL basses.
Interesting. I'm a P-bass guy.
Curtis Chavez underrated. Any pedal that's been great for decades, but it's now gathering dust in a glass case. Overrated. The new shiny pedal du jour.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there. Yep.
Kenneth. Wait. I think that's a question.
Okay.
I think that's a statement. All right. I'm going to just read these really. Stu Crombie, Sustainiacs, hard to install, lots of routing. Oh. Yeah. I would have never guessed that. Hello, Barry. Gene Splice, underrated. The improvement rewiring a cheap but well-playing guitar can make. Sean McCartney says the RP350 for life, but I don't know if that's underrated. Let's see. RRD, underrated. Sustainiac pickup.
Those are pretty cool.
Rob F, underrated. JHS 3 Series $99 pedal range. Line includes, in my humble opinion, one of the best fuzz face clones ever.
I need to get those. That's been on my list to get those. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll get into some questions.
Black Star says the middle strap pickup is underrated.
Agreed. If it's a good one, they're really good. It's a great sound.
Analog Kid Digital Man says underrated. Zoom MS70 CDR. That's very specific.
That must be is that a foot device? Zoom's doing a bunch of stuff that I don't know what they are, so.
And he says underrated like it's necessary, right?
Yep. Like he really needs it.
All right, you want some questions?
Yeah,
now?
let's go over some questions.
All right.
So get your guitar questions in at this point. Thanks for that conversation. It's cool to look at what everybody thinks is cool. Because what we hear, come through the gear news and what we hear come through the normal channels isn't always what people are into. And that is definitely true from what we heard tonight. And I like to hear that stuff. Get your questions in. It looks like we've got a bunch. We're going to go for another half an hour. Use Super Chat if you want us to drop what we're doing.
I don't remember what he commented, but you commented about somebody saying, I've never heard of that. They must make them. So Black Reaper Metal says, I don't make them. Not that smart. It's a Russian pedal and such company that has interesting technology. Their preamp pedals sound great. I personally have a 3-channel tube preamp SS11B.
Interesting.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Gary Simmons. Any tips on where to source a few Epiphone 2-wire pickup quick connects?
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. So it's a Molex connector. And if you Google what you just said, like connector part number, probably a Full Compass. Full Compass is this big electronics parts company. Will come up with a Molex part number that you can find, and then you'll probably be able to find that Molex part number on Amazon for you'll probably have to buy a bag of 10 of them for probably $8 or $10, but you'll be able to do that. So find the Molex part number first, and then go from there.
Analog Kid Digital Man says the MS70 CDR is a stereo in and out chorus delay reverb in a floor pedal. Great for guitars and synths.
Oh, cool. Which he uses both.
Karen Bassett. Hi, Dylan. I'm building an SG from a kit. I only have the unfinished body and neck. Where would you recommend I get all the electronics and hardware? Going for Angus Young tone. Thanks.
Well, we can take care of the pickups for you. And then send me a chat on the website, not right now, but like
Shameless plug.
after the show, and I'll try to help you out with wiring. We're going to try something different with the wiring stuff.
Windsurf Maui wants to know, do you need a house sitter to play your guitar so they won't miss you?
No. I played them all today.
You didn't even know.
I didn't even know we were going out of town, and I did.
I mean, you did know we were
And I even took some out of the closet that haven't been out in...
a long time. How about that?
Don't say anything because it's going in a video.
Don't tell them what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ada, dear Dylan, question. Does pickup rings make up of paramagnetic material affect the magnetic field and affect the shape of the tone or the springs?
No,
too?
it's too far. It's too far from everything.
Vox Guitars Rock said, is there a course or something to make learning how to read music easy or easier?
That is not my department because I don't know how to read music, but...
I wonder how many people know how. Or did they know that about you? That might be a random fact people didn't know.
What, that I don't know how to read music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know chord structure and I know like jazz chord theory and all that crap, but I don't know how to read music. But it's because of what my dad taught me from... My dad has a book about all that. And,
Can't he read music?
yeah, he can. But we never... And it was, honestly, like, him playing was, like, before the Nashville number system and all that. Like, that's all newer than him. Well, not newer, but in his circles, that stuff wasn't used, so, yeah.
Bear Paw says, hi, Leslie and Dylan. First time catching your show live
Thanks,
from
man.
Swansea, Wales, UK. Keep them coming.
Ooh, staying up
pretty
late
cool.
for us. Thank you.
Let's see. Van Chan Guitar says, what do you do with the pots that don't pass muster?
Throw them in the trash. I had to throw away like 5 yesterday.
Rusty Shackelford, you shipped my pick guards today. Can't wait. On the long journey to Arkansas now.
Yep, dude, that was a trick. I literally, I was gonna get that done earlier in the week, and I'm just gonna tell you the human side of me. I knew that was gonna be a wiring bonkers thing because basically we did the PRS Fiore wiring for him, and I started on it, and I was like, my brain cannot do this right now. And I walked away from it like 3 times and came back to it and was like, okay, starting fresh in the morning, thinking this through, Googled a couple of things because I needed to double check, and I got it. But it was just like one of those like, yeah, I had to be on to get that right. Hopefully it's right.
Patrick Jean LeBlanc Hardy. Look, I'm saving up for the Super 8 clear pickup for my birthday coming up on June 23rd. I will buy on the 4th Wednesday this month. How much for 2 pots to go with it?
Just shoot me a chat on that. We'll figure something out. If I have them. We're blowing through stuff right now.
Kenneth Crickmore says, with a Rickenbacker guitar, it's a bit hard to rate it if you can't even find out the price of the thing.
Dude, that's no joke. And they don't mess around, do they?
Sean McCartney says, this is way off topic, but I just bought a cassette Walkman and my inner 8-year-old is dying with excitement to get it.
Oh, man. Is it... Yeah, but is it like the proper Sony one, like the yellow one with the like sort of waterproof but not really? You know, the Sony Walkman. So lemon water right after the scotch is very interesting. Gives you kind of a...
Adrian Smith says, Dylan, I need something from you. I need your job. I recently bought some of your clear center punch hums for my Strat. It's been over a month since I received it, and I haven't had time to install them.
Well, if you had my job, your own guitars would never get worked on. So they would continue to sit there. I've got a pickup sitting over there that's supposed to go in that guitar for a video that was going to come out on Monday, and it is just not getting done. And so I had to switch my video idea for Monday. And actually, that's 2 weeks in a row that I've had to do that. So I understand.
Oh, Martian Murray's calling us out. He says, my first Walkman was a CD.
So
Just because you're younger.
No joke.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Hat Mike says, underrated. Hats to overcome hair growth deficiencies. Okay, I'm done. Dinner time. Have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.
He's probably going. Joe Abrenica? I don't know. Joe, what do you think about the Gibson Les Paul Standard Faded series?
I think they're cool. I think you should get one. If that's what you're into, I think you should get it because they're really cool.
Doc Siltonen says, I'm headed to Traverse City tomorrow. Gonna stop in Traverse City Guitar Company. They make the Inesis? I don't know. Guitars in-house. Never hear about them, but they're great.
Interesting.
Never heard of it.
No, that's cool.
Oh, it didn't display. My bad. Let's do that again. Thanks for the super chat, Corey Foregrave. He said, for the Texas Toast $9,000 Strat class, are the middle pickups true to the 57 or will it be reverse wound or anything different? Does a reverse wound really make a difference?
I'm going to work that out with Matt, and actually, honestly, we can make that decision on the fly. We can choose that while we're making the pickups. We can decide if you want it not reverse wound or you do want it reverse wound. We could do it either way. We could put three-way switches in if you wanted to. We could do all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm going to work out. We were just talking about this before the live stream that next week I'm going to start compiling all of the parts for that class. And I'm going to make sure that we have a few of those options because, in fact, it just popped into my head as I'm telling you. The three-way versus five-way switch, some people might want to do because it's a 57.
Aren't there two Strat classes? Mm-hmm. So we don't even know which one Corey's in.
Corey's probably in the July one or the August one. I would guess. So, yes, in reverse wound, reverse polarity doesn't really make a difference. It does make it quieter. Some really, 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 really guitar dorks will tell you that they can tell a difference, but all the testing I've done with said guitar dorks, they can't tell a difference.
Hogman Hawk says he still has his Discman going through his truck stereo with his cassette adapter.
Oh, sweet. The problem is those cassette adapters are so fragile. So you use them for like a year, and then they stop working, and then you have to like stick your pocket knife in there and like pry down on it to make it feel like work better. You remember like the times when your cassette adapter didn't really work, so you would like fold up a bunch of paper and like stuff it in there and like hold it in a certain spot? Like, oh, the days of
I never had to
analog garbage.
I don't know what any of that meant.
Oh yeah, bad stuff. If you're not rich enough to have like a Sony double cassette deck boombox, you could only get like an Emerson, and after like 6 months it would start eating tapes and you'd be so pissed because you spent like 2 days making a mixtape and then it would get ate up.
I had a Sony.
Ugh, yes, because you were all balling.
That was like a prized possession. It was like
Everybody's
a centerpiece in my room.
That was everybody's
and I
prized
had the
possession.
kind that had the little detachable speakers, even though you never took them off.
Yeah.
Like you could, but you never did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what I had too? When my grandparents moved out of their house, my grandmother, the one you know, had a Magnavox power player. It was the one with the huge speakers that people would pull around on their skateboard. And that's what I had.
That's what she had it for. She rolled around
and
on her skateboard.
I pulled it around on my skateboard. Just like that.
Oh, man.
It had a shortwave radio in it. You could listen to stuff from Japan.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was cool.
Curtis Chavez, is a sustainiac also a pickup, or is it just a sustaining device?
It looks like a humbucker, but one of the coils is a sustaining device, and then the other one is a single coil that picks up what the sustaining device is doing.
This doesn't look like a question, but it has questions in front of it. Kenneth Crickmore, using a stereo receiver as a guitar amp. I used a 1971 Kenwood 6420 receiver, had mic and guitar in a guitar with a Sears Silvertone, and it rocked so loud you had to stand outside the room.
I remember people that did that.
So loud. Sean McCartney, I know you swear by a specific cable company, but any interest in trying the new Black Star cables?
Not really. I mean, I would try them, but then I would call Austin and be like, what are they doing? I mean, I would. Because the thing about Austin is, he's a friend of mine, and like, I would tell him, like, hey, what are they doing? And he would know. He would like take it apart and like know where the cable came from, and he would tell me, like, so maybe I would try them, but I think I bet they're not more better. And I'm supporting a dude, you know. I think that's cool. Some small business. He just got engaged this weekend too, so he's got to make some money.
Finally.
Yeah.
Armando Lopez, not a question, just letting you know I bought a Quattro and I'm eager to throw it in my Les Paul.
Your Quattro's getting made, I think, on Wednesday.
RRD says, do you sell loaded pick guards?
We do. If you go to DylanTalksTone.com and you go to Shop Strat Stuff, you'll see loaded pick guards, and they will be there, and you can pick what pickups you want to go in it. You can do single hum. You can choose a bunch of stuff. It's like a drop-down boxes and color of pick guard and all that. And we load them up and send them out to you.
Ada, dear Dylan, why are some pickups make more noise even though they are properly wax potted?
Because noise doesn't come from wax potting. Noise comes from external sources like lights, and noise in a guitar really comes over the air. So the buzz that you hear basically comes over the air. Whatever's noisy in your environment, your air conditioner, your refrigerator, anything with a transformer in it is going to cause noise. And so your pickups are basically like little antennas, because those coils turn into little antennas, and they pick up noise over the air. And so that's really why. And when you have your hand on the guitar, you become part of the grounding situation of that, the shielding, and that's why it gets quieter when you touch it.
Haas, how close can two pickups be before they start affecting tone?
I mean, a humbucker is two pickups right next to each other. So what I would tell you is, here's a good example. If you take two single coils, you put them next to each other, right next to each other, and you wire them in series, it's a humbucker, right? The more you move them further apart from each other, the less they're going to sound like a humbucker, but they still will. For example, a Telecaster with both pickups in series still sort of sounds like a humbucker. But if you took both of those exact same pickups, didn't change anything, and put them right next to each other, they would sound like a regular humbucker, kind of, more or less. So it just changes it a little bit as you move them further apart, but a humbucker is two single coils next to each other.
Sir Sneaker Pimp, Dylan, have you seen Dan at StewMac being reunited with his 335 he sold in '58? Great video.
I did see that. Man, that dude's old.
Analog Kid Digital Man, have you heard Kevin Como from Crownlands play guitar? On their latest album, at times he sounds like David Gilmour, Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, and others in the same song. He plays GTR bass KB.
Keyboard, bass, and guitar. I don't know. I have not heard him.
Okay. A lot of letters. Rusty, have you ever used the Ulbrecht hum reduction wire harness?
I have put it in a guitar for someone else, and it's interesting. I put it in a telly, I think, for someone, and it is interesting. It does change how the guitar sounds, though, a little bit.
Corey Forgrave, what are the criteria for keeping a CTS pot? Is it the measured ohms? I found CTS seem to be around 450 to 460, while Borns will be 515 to 520.
For a 500. So my stuff is, I just looked at this again today. I think my stuff is 10 or 15% tolerance. And if they fall outside of that, I throw them away. Usually I don't have to. And I also, if they're outside of that, sometimes I'll use them depending on what they're used for. There's not a thing about matched pots really, but sometimes I'll use them for tone knobs because it doesn't matter as much. Sometimes, depending on what cap I'm using. So I guess I should say that. I don't always throw them away. I will use them for certain stuff. I'll throw them back in the bucket and then use them later for something else. I like to use volume pots that are as close to tolerance as possible. Tone pots, if they are if they're under, I will save them for like a 15 or a 22 cap, and if they're over, I'll use them for a 33 or a 47. But usually I don't have to, and honestly, sometimes I'll get pots and they'll just be broken because I order them in bags of 50, I think. So sometimes you'll just, because of they come in, that's what I throw them away for more for, and like they'll have like a leg broken off, so I throw them away for that more than anything. But the tolerance thing, sometimes I'll move them around a little bit in what I'm using them. Like if I'm doing a Strat, I'll measure all of them and I'll move them around for what I'm using them for.
Box Guitars Rock, any thoughts on those 50 and 100 watt stage right tube amps from Monoprice?
I don't really look into that Monoprice stuff. Because I just don't spend a whole lot of time in that price point space, so I don't really know.
Oh, Van Check Guitar says, I have the Monoprice 15 watt combo amp and it's okay. I had to put new tubes and adjust the bias.
Yeah, see, this is why I wouldn't recommend them, because adjusting a bias is a real thing, like a don't die thing. And you need to know what you're doing. And you also need to know how to use a meter. And so, to me, that is a real reliability problem. Bias is basically how hot the tubes get. It's a dumb way to say it, but if the bias is wrong, you're going to burn tubes up every week, or you're not going to have all the power you need. So I would look at that as a reliability out of tolerance thing, and that's why I don't recommend that stuff. Because your normal amp guy's not going to work on it either.
I feel like everything stopped. It's super weird, but it's the same. But did
it do what it did before?
No, because it's in both places. So I think literally maybe people aren't putting comments in, but that just seems odd because usually they just keep rolling. But I'm gonna log back in just in case because it seems really weird.
Do we have a couple more though?
Nope.
So we're caught up.
Yeah, the next ones are kind of like not. They're like, I mean, we can do them because they asked here, but they're not, and they're not really after hours. So Angel Raven 444 says, "Wings, you ate meat? No effing way."
No, I didn't. I ate vegan wings, except for
nuggets.
No nuggets, except for I accidentally took one of Bryson's chicken wings. But
yeah, that was funny. I didn't watch that part of the video. I wish I should. I meant to go back so I could see Mackenzie's face.
Oh, yeah, she was flipped out.
Rockbox says the hot sauce show was hilarious. Your son suffering with the hot sauce and washing it down with sweet tea was fantastic.
He suffered for about 12 hours. Yeah.
Oh, now people are commenting. They're like, it stopped here too. We're still here.
Good. Okay.
Thanks, y'all. Like, what happened? I never get caught up before it's time. We have still 10 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Are we rolling now? Yes. Kenneth Crickmore. Dylan, what's the temperature of the wax when you pot your pickups? With my cheap quad rails, I hear every sound of the guitar strap, creaking finger on the body, or pick guard loud as strings. Why?
145. Anything above about 155 and you start melting bobbins. So 140 to 145. That's why I use paraffin, because beeswax you have to get
He wants his
hotter.
hands to be soft.
That's right.
We could give our own self a manicure.
You could.
I don't want to do that.
It's even scented now.
Oh my gosh. No comment. Analog Kid Digital Man said, I'll take the opportunity of the lull to thank Dylan for his generosity. A few months back when I was going through a tough time, he gifted me a very nice guitar and didn't even want me to tell people.
I did do that. I forgot about that.
Karen Bassett, noise from my guitars. My J-bass bridge pickup suddenly is noisy. It was not noisy when I got the bass. Ideas on what to check to see what's causing the noise? Thanks.
Yeah, so in a jazz bass, sometimes there's a grounding foil plate that goes underneath the pickup. Make sure that is making good contact with the bottom of the pickup. And make sure, if it's in there, some of them don't have that, but some of them have basically it's an aluminum foil with a wire soldered to it that's soldered to ground. And just make sure all your grounds are good. That's where I would start.
Ada says, Dylan, I have two guitars with different pickups. One makes hell-like noise, both wax potted. The other one doesn't.
Yeah, so chances are one of them is just noisy. Depending on how the pickups are made, especially if they're less expensive ones, they can just be noisier. People always ask me, what's the difference between a good pickup? Why are your pickups so expensive? Well, if you, for example, order one of our P90s and put it in your Epiphone, the guitar will be quieter. And it's because of what we do and how we make them.
Rusty, what practice amp would you recommend for home use novice player?
Boss Katana, 50.
Curtis Chavez, next comment. Boss Katana 50.
Yep.
Um,
Simple as that.
Angel Raven 444. Any cheap Fender or PV amp and make sure you have reverb. I guess they're responding to that question. Sorry. Was it a Katana 50 that we signed?
Yeah, that's the one that's in Indiana. And then I bought another one, used it for a while, and that one's in Florida. We gave that one to Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We bought him a guitar, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's fun.
I think we've done that quite
A few times. It's fun.
Cool. I'm all caught up. This is weird.
Yeah.
There's 0 in my other tab over there.
There is. Any more last minute guitar questions? Otherwise, we're going to go off topic.
Greg Sachs. Hey guys, Dylan. Are aluminum bronze... Dylan. Are aluminum bronze strings softer than phosphor bronze or 80/20? I run 13s on my acoustic and I feel like they dent from bending faster and yet also feel stiffer to me than other 13s.
Are you saying you have the aluminum bronze ones? I think those are cool. They sound different and they're really, really neat. The Ernie Ball aluminum bronze are really cool. I don't know about... They do dent, though. But phosphor bronze do, too. It just depends how hard you play, too. Also, you guys, please, somebody give me hockey score. I'm, flipping out over here. because it's Thursday night and first period should be just about getting over or almost getting over. So please give me a hockey score, somebody.
Roderick Robinson says we're caught up because he didn't annoy us tonight. Angel Raven 444. Panthers 1, Vegas 0 so far.
Oh, good. So here's the problem. I need the Panthers to win tonight because we're going to see Kenny Wayne Shepherd on Saturday. And if the Panthers don't win tonight, there will be a game 4, but the game 4 could be the end. And I don't want to miss any decision games. So I need the Panthers to win to throw off the 4-0 deal.
The conspiracy.
She thinks it's all fixed. It's not. So anyway, I need the Panthers to win tonight.
Fat Philosopher says, I'm here. We can start now.
Oh, what's up, man?
Robbox says Vegas just scored.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get off topic.
All right.
We might as well. If any guitar questions come in before 9 o'clock, we'll take them. But the way this works is after 9 o'clock, if you ask a guitar question, it has to be a super chat. But we'll take some more guitar questions until actually 9 to keep it fair. And you can ask us whatever you want, and we might answer it.
Ada says, Dylan, did you use a Yamaha amplifier?
I need to get one of those THR30s, and I have not gotten a chance to do it.
Sir Stinker Pimp says, when you toss your bad pots, are they not repairable because it's not worth it or because it's too delicate a process?
Because it's not worth it, and then some of them are just plain not repairable.
Timothy Potter says, you will love KWS. I've seen him several times, and he's always great.
Yeah, I've seen him one other time.
I had to listen to newer music because I love one album. So, like, that's my whole Kenny Wayne Shepherd knowledge.
Speaking of hearing Dumbles.
What?
He probably will tour. I think he's touring with 2 Dumbles right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because I like, we're in a theater, an old theater, and those are my favorite kind of shows.
Same.
Like smaller.
Yep.
Where nobody's going to be.
And usually it's going to sound good.
Yeah.
In a theater. Usually old theaters sound good just because of the design of the room. You know, if the sound guy's good, which I'm sure his sound guy's
People
good.
are probably listening to him right now in Augusta, but we're here with you, by the way.
That's right. So let's tell you about that. So we always talk about things that we do and we put off because the Thursday night thing is so important. We are actually missing Kenny Wayne Shepherd in our town right now. He's playing right now. 10 minutes from here. But we are driving 3 hours to see him on Saturday instead so that we could do this because this is important. So I like to tell people that.
Hawkman Hawk says being single is overrated and being married is underrated.
Being married is pretty awesome. As long as you're married to somebody awesome. I'd hate to be married to somebody that isn't awesome, though.
Let's see.
So last weekend we went to the Blade Show. Since it's after...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
We went to the Blade Show in Atlanta last weekend. I made a video about it on our other channel. And so we bought 6 knives. And went a little crazy. It was fun. And then we went to the gun store after that. There is a video about that on my Patreon. Because I don't put that stuff on YouTube. And yeah, it was really fun. I bought a Malibu.
All right, pause. Let's get the last guitar questions.
'Kay.
Ready? Vox Guitars Rocks. Do you prefer American or British amp tone?
American. I'm a Fender guy.
And I just saw another one. Not that one. Not that one. Nathaniel Heel. What would the ultimate Jazzmaster build look like for ambient light rock?
I don't know. Just some vintage 65, like our JM pickups that we make in a normal, just a normal Jazzmaster. That's what they do, usually.
Philosopher said he hasn't met my wife.
Does that mean she's awesome?
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
All right, 9 o'clock. You want to continue?
Oh, anyway.
Unpause.
Anyway, yeah, I bought a ProTech Malibu with I can't remember what they call this blade. Like some kind of color blue. But anyway. Yeah, super cool. Got a pearl button. And then I bought a fixed blade. Oh, yeah, I got that right here. MagnaCut Guardian 3.2. Pretty sweet. Sharp as crap. These guys know how to sharpen knives. I don't like this holster, so I ordered one of their Guardian's Kydex holsters with the little belt thing. It'll be here tomorrow.
You won't.
I will.
What?
We're leaving early in the morning?
We're leaving in the morning, I thought.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. I'll leave whenever.
All right. So now we've had some off-topic-y things come in.
Cool. Let's do it.
I grabbed them, so they're not going to be in order. So
Okay.
don't be offended by that, y'all. Well, this is a quick one. Vinny's World says, question for Leslie. Do you think there's any pro sport that's not fixed? LOL. Probably not. I just think, I mean, I know I laugh about, I don't know. I can't say any pro sport. Like, I can't say I'm being preferential to certain sports, but I guess I don't watch sports and I only get exposed to sports that you watch. So it seems a little biased, but whether it's the Tour de France, F1, hockey, it's like, I don't know. It does, like, there's all these rules that you, like, can't really play the game, and, like, this is your teammate and you have to do this, and this is just tradition, and I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, why can't you just play and be competitive? You know, I was never one of those, like, you're all so awesome and you get a trophy. So, like, when you hear all these weird rules and you're like, well, you can't pass him because he's such and I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense. And then there's, like, the marketing side of it, right? So they're gonna make it more than 4 games probably, because then they're gonna make more money. I feel like every time we've watched it, they've gone 7 games.
No, it doesn't always.
Anyway.
It doesn't always.
Yeah. Sports with weird rules are weird to me.
There is a lot of tradition, for sure, in hockey. Because it's an old sport. It's the best sport.
So, I just jokingly always say that. I don't know if I even really mean it. I don't really care. I mean, I'm usually not watching at all. He just gives me, like, a
Little
replay.
pieces.
Yeah. And I just know enough to know that I don't know enough. Be totally honest. Somebody said wrestling. Box Guitars Rock said wrestling. I listened to a podcast. I'm not even finished with it. I am, like, 2 hours into, like, a 3-hour podcast of somebody, I can't tell you his name now, but has to do with pro wrestling. And listening to him describe, like, I don't like pro wrestling, by the way, at all. Will not watch. But listening to him describe, like, the marketing behind it and, like, how they created these personas and, like, against each other and catchphrases and all these, and I was like, this is fascinating. Like, it's all designed. Mm-hmm. And it still sounds stupid when he's explaining it. So it's just also amazing that people are like, yeah. I don't know. Sorry. Probably making everybody mad. I'm probably running everybody off.
I was going to say, how many people do we have on now? See, 9 people just left.
They don't want to hear from me. Y'all stop. Y'all don't ask me questions.
That downvote button is because of the pro wrestling comment.
Whatever. I don't care. Rockbox says Game 3 update is 1-1 at the first intermission.
Thank you.
Sir Sneaker Pimp says Formula One isn't fixed, but it certainly feels like it sometimes. Just ask Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, he's done.
Fat Philosopher said Florida would have never gotten to the finals if it were fixed.
That is very true. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be in it at all.
It's Victoria G. says WNBA isn't fixed. Anyway, this is really funny. All right.
I never watched the WNBA, but I don't watch basketball either. That much.
I wonder how much their fan base grew. I wonder how much women's sports have grown in general because of the attention that they've gotten. Like, there's soccer players have really, fought for more equal things, and then the whole thing with the basketball player. Like, I'm curious if because of
I hope so.
yeah,
I
for
hope
sure.
the sports got more popular, because the only way they're going to get paid more is if the sports get more popular and more tickets get sold and more merch gets sold, and so that the revenue is there to do it. So I hope that it does get more popular. We've always thought that about hockey too. I mean, hockey players don't get paid enough for how much they get busted up.
Fox Guitars Rock says wrestling is just General Hospital for guys.
Oh
Like it's a
my
soap opera.
God.
Y'all, I could start watching soap operas today, and I bet I could pick up on the storyline. Like, and it's been like
Yeah.
20
Same
years.
characters.
Yeah.
Walking around with canes from when you were a kid.
Oh, it's wild. Let's see. Windsurf Maui says, sorry I had to drop off because Trump was indicted.
Oh, he was.
News update. Not politics, just a news update. All right. Jason Albert said women's volleyball has always been very popular.
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with the game. Nothing.
It's not fixed.
Nothing to do with the game.
And tennis.
All right, Rusty, what do you think of the ex-military guy who was interviewed saying the U.S. has alien craft and bodies?
I think he is... It depends who you're talking about. There are a couple of people that seem very credible, but I can't get behind it totally. I'm waiting. The jury's still out on the alien thing. I don't believe that they've found any alien crafts or any alien bodies. I think it's all technology that we're working on, but I also think that it's stuff that they're trying to keep from regular people. So I don't know. I think it's something in the middle. I should say that on the other channel, because we just uploaded that video, so I've been paying attention to the other channel. Somebody in the comments is like thinking I'm full of crap that I don't believe in Sasquatch because he was driving in Alabama and it crossed the road in front of him
Nice.
in the dark. So I replied to his comment.
Did you get a picture?
Picture, it didn't happen.
Oh, we have video that proves turkeys can fly.
Oh yeah, turkeys can definitely fly. I did not know that.
You learned that day.
I did learn that day. I didn't know they really flew that. I didn't know they flew, but they do.
Oh,
Smacked
that still makes me laugh.
Smacked my Jeep windshield right in the middle of it and broke it.
So to elaborate, Rusty had another comment. He said, what about the Las Vegas alien sighting in the backyard? The police caught some glowing object falling from the sky on their chest camera right before the call came in.
Yeah, I heard about that one, and then there's what's the name of that podcast?
Hi, Strange.
Hi Strange. I was just listening to that today. There's some pretty credible ones, but they still nobody knows anything. It's like you can't do something without somebody knowing about it these days. So I don't understand why nobody knows anything. Which that in itself loses credibility with me. It's just like the Sasquatch thing. If the Bigfoot comes in front of you in your car and you don't get a picture of it, or it's so grainy in 2023 with a friggin' cell phone that can take a picture of the moon, then you're full of crap.
Keith H, thank you for the super chat. He says, no question, but if I did, it would be about guitars. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Keith.
That's funny.
We were chatting about Gibson stuff on the Facebook page today, me and him.
Roderick Robinson, I'm always curious where the conversation goes on the off-topic stuff. Did you sell the RV yet?
No.
No.
I'd like to.
Jeffrey Egan, Dylan, unlike your AR-15 reference in the TTG stream, I don't think Matt got my Kimber Rapid Black Ice reference.
I did because I've been looking at those. Except I want the Rapide Dawn. The silver one with the gold barrel instead of... Because the one you're talking about is the one with the black barrel. I want the one with the gold barrel because I'm blingy like that. Blingy. Almost all of my stuff has blingy barrels, so... Actually, all of my stuff has blingy barrels. Yep.
All right. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I'm like, why is that scrolling? Curtis Chavez, if national security were not a thing, would you rather the U.S. stay with the same government, or would you like to see it return to tribal government? That's really random.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
And I think I would rather stay away from that one. That one's getting towards a little towards politics for me. Because there's a lot to that. I've lived both ways, so.
Fat Philosopher, what ear protection do you use?
I can't remember the brand.
Talking about art.
Yeah, we both have the same.
W Walt. No, that's a good one. I don't know.
It's I don't know. They're over the ear, automatic with the battery in them, so you can hear yourself.
Oh, I don't know if I turned mine off.
Cool. Twice in a row.
It's not in a row.
I'll just keep buying batteries.
They should just work. I shouldn't have to turn them on.
I'll just keep buying batteries, I guess.
I definitely think I didn't turn them off. I don't remember turning them, because I'm like so ready to get them off my head. So like as soon as I come out the door, I'm like, come off. So I'm quite sure I didn't cut them off.
I'll check them.
Svea Norton says, Dylan, do you ever drink vodka? And if so, what is your preference? P.S. Thanks for missing Kenny Wayne tonight for us all, but I would have ditched y'all and gone.
Oh, I get it. I like vodka a lot. There's this vodka from Iceland that's really cheap that I really like called Reka. I really like that stuff. I like, I'm not super picky. I won't drink, like your normal store-bought, like Absolute and all those
I like
Stoli
Ciroc, though.
and yeah, Ciroc's okay. Kettle One if I have to. I guess I am pickier about it, but I'm not that picky because we mix them most of the time.
Yeah. I just finished off his sister size bottle, like this humongous
Huge
thing.
they bought
Yeah.
6 months ago. This is the first drink I've had since
It
2
was
weeks ago.
6 months. It's like 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. That's a lot of vodka.
It was half gone when they left.
Fox Guitars Rock, what type of sharpener do you use for your knives?
Everything's so sharp that I use a strap for most things because I keep up on my stuff pretty good. So I just use a leather strap with green compound on it. I do have a work sharp, whatever that one that stands up with the bar that goes back and forth. Not the new $250 one, but like the old $75 one. I have that. I kind of want the new expensive one, but I've actually been sharpening flat lately. I've been learning about different types of edges and how to maintain different types of edges for different types of knives, or for different types of tasks. So I've been sharpening on a stone. I have a work sharp stone that I've been using for my fixed blades because you want them rougher, like toothier. Where a knife like this, you would want, more polished, but not all the way polished. But I also have so many knives that I don't use them all enough to do a ton of damage. My Recieves Sabenza is my main carry knife, and that one I'll just use the strop every couple days. And then my Winkler SD1 is my main fixed blade, and I sharpen that on a stone. This might be right up there, though, once I get the sheath in for it. Like that.
So just catching up on a few things, conversation-wise. Karen Bassett said we had to sell our RV because we needed money. I'm still sad about it. Analog Kid Digital Man said Lori and I use Caldwell's, cheap but decent. Talking about ear protection. Jason Albert said, what type of battery do the hearing protectors use?
Triple A's. So I just keep, in my range bag, I just keep a couple of triple A's in there in case one of them goes dead or in case she leaves them on. And so, no big deal.
Windsurf Maui says, most modern vodkas are made from wheat, so they're just clear whiskey. You should only drink potato vodka, just my opinion. I think that's why I like Ciroc. It's actually made from grapes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and is Reka's
potatoes.
It is potato, yeah. All right. Karen Bassett says Kirkland vodka. So what's the
Ciroc?
What's the vote, y'all? Is it Grey Goose? Is it Ciroc? Like, what is it?
It's Ciroc.
Kirkland vodka is Ciroc. Why aren't we buying that then?
Because they don't sell it here.
They don't sell Kirkland vodka? Oh, because we don't have a
We
liquor store.
We don't have a Kirkland liquor store. At our Costco, we have Augusta Liquors is a local liquor store that is in the Costco, but it's not Costco. You don't have to have a card to go there. But our Costco doesn't sell Kirkland liquor. They sell wine, but they don't sell liquor.
Yeah, because ours don't cross over.
Correct.
Okay, I forgot about that. And that's not anywhere near us. Nowhere has that. Okay. Anyway. Jeffrey Egan said, I'm not crazy about over-the-ear muffs, but earplugs just don't cut the mustard.
I get that.
Jeffrey Egan says, Sky vodka is pretty good. Analog Kid Digital Man said, Kettle One is good, but Grey Goose is favorite. Jeffrey Egan said, Grey Goose is awesome. Bear Paw says, hi, Leslie and Dylan, where are you based? We are in Georgia in the United States because this is the guy from Wales. That is
cool.
new to us.
Right on.
Roderick Robinson, being a hockey fan, have you ever given lacrosse any attention? It's a fun watch. The Pro League just started last weekend.
I'm not rich enough.
For lacrosse? Why is that a rich
Isn't that
thing?
like a rich fancy boy sport?
I have no idea. I thought that was polo on a horse.
Whatever, same thing.
It's not. There's no horses. I don't know.
I was never exposed to it because we lived in Hockey Land. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to plow the backyard and put an ice rink in. So I've just been on skates since I was a little kid. So that's all I know.
Curtis Chavez says, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? P.S. If you're a LeBron person, you're free to be wrong.
Yeah, Michael Jordan for life.
I think that's a generation thing, right?
I get LeBron, but yeah, probably.
Windsurf Maui says, I heard Brad Pitt is making a movie with Hamilton.
That's what I heard too.
Angel Raven 444 question, have you all ever seen or been in a hurricane?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how you define it, but definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I've been in a hurricane in Virginia Beach about 25 years ago. I was in a school waiting for it to get over.
Yeah, it's hard where we live. It's hard to not experience a hurricane because we are in a band. Like,
Yeah. But we live 2.5 hours from the coast, so by the
Not the
time they
same.
get here, they're kind of petered out. But we've had some pretty bad ones. Like, there's been times where it's like you have to bring all your lawn furniture and your grill in and stuff. There was a couple times where I was worried about it enough, the way our house faced, that I like put the car in the garage. We had a 4Runner, and I put the car in the garage, closed the door, and then put like a pillow between the bumper and the door and backed the car up to the door so that if it got really windy, it wouldn't blow the garage door in. Like, we've had them that bad where you had to worry about that. But, and we've had like trees blow down in our yard, and we've had our fence get busted up. That was the same time. And like had to pick up limbs and junk that flew out of everywhere. But not like real bad. Like, I never had shingles blow off my house and stuff.
Analog Kid Digital Man says, "How dare you, Leslie? The popularity of women's volleyball is purely because of the game. What else could it be?" Sure. That's like one of those like wink wink.
No, he's thinking of
That
WNBA.
scared me. That's a new dog.
Yeah, that's a different bark. We haven't heard that one.
Oh, it's growly. Did you hear that? Windsurf Maui. Dylan, what did you think of the knife made from guitar strings?
I saw that. I thought it was cool. I don't know how scalable or useful it would be, but
Vox Guitars Rock. Dylan, what's your opinion on Damascus knives?
I have a couple. I like it. It's dependent on the qualities of steel that were used when making the Damascus, because it's usually 2 or 3 or 4 different kinds of steel smashed together, basically. But the ones that I have are really sharp because of the edge geometry. No, they're cool. I would like more. I really want a katana, not the amp. But I want a proper one with the proper hamon and like the whole folded forged Damascus stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Analog Kid Digital Man. Dylan, what do you think of the new 5.7 by 28 from S&W?
I'm interested in that round. The problem is it's so expensive. And I have a Smith & Wesson 2.0 Performance Center in 9mm with the 5-inch barrel, and that gun is unbelievably good. And so I don't understand the point of buying the 5.7, except if I wanted to spend more money on ammunition, because I get the same gun in a different caliber that's cheaper. So for me, it doesn't make any sense. But if you don't have one of those, you should shoot it. It's good.
Sir Sneaker Pimp said, if Sasquatch did exist, they would be interviewed on The View complaining about their privacy being invaded. All right, I'm going to read from my phone now because I don't want to sit like that anymore.
Okay.
Jason Albert said, I tried water polo once. The horse drowned. Angel Raven 444. Dylan, what country do you want to visit before you give up the ghost? I don't know what that means.
Oh, a bunch of countries. A bunch of countries. I want to go all over the place. Italy is at the top of my list, though, probably.
Timothy Potter, he said, I enjoy cat head vodka. It's a subtly honeysuckle infused.
I've heard
Makes
of it.
a great mule with reed ginger beer.
I've heard
Now I
of
want to try that.
I've heard of it.
Because that sounds
Because
amazing.
honeysuckle is a thing for you. Since we're from the South and all.
Doc Siltonen says, Grozovska is my top vodka.
Oh, yeah. Everybody needs to ask Doc about
Anything.
anything Russian, because he has vodka. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I need to get with you. I should probably get some vodka that you suggest. That would be fun. Because he
He
knows
just
that
told
stuff.
you what his top vodka is.
Okay. I know,
Karen,
but he needs to text it to me. Or he'll text it to me.
Karen Bassett said, you get tornadoes, don't you? Yes.
We do. Yeah. But even that, we live close enough to the river where we don't get as much of them, but we still get them. It's not like Kansas or something.
Curtis Chavez, this might sound like a weird question, but what knife would be good as a utility knife and could also be used to eat with after being sanitized? Who sanitizes their knives?
For any kind of like, do I have something up here? Yeah, this will work. Any of these Spydercos, this is a paramilitary too. Or the PM3. I like the PM2 because it's longer. But anything with the drop point on the front that's thin, I like a thinner blade for that. Yeah, so you could like cut a steak with it or something. And then just wipe it off. What's his name on here?
Analog Kid Digital Man.
Analog Kid Digital Man. Put in the comments what oil you use. He told me about a food safe oil that he uses on his blades. So that to clean them up and then oil them so they don't rust. But it's food safe. It's based on something we can eat. And I can't remember what it was. I meant to ask him the other day because I wanted to get some for my fixed blades. Yeah.
Sir Sneaker Pimp says, Dylan the Great, Jim Brown started as a lacrosse player and he was so good they changed the rules because of his style. Sabea Norton says, I created a vodka monster.
We're missing super chats, yo.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, unless you just didn't get it yet.
No, I'm using my phone.
Okay.
And I'm holding the comment so I can go in order.
Doc says he knows a guy who's been there to Italy.
Rude.
Thanks, Doc. Okay, keep going.
I don't know where I was now. Oh, Savea said I created a vodka monster in the chat. Please forgive me. And Doc Siltonen said it's merely a spirited discussion.
That's right. No worries at all. Whatever we want to talk about is whatever we want to talk about.
Rusty said Hurricane Alicia, early 80s, Texas. Didn't see land for 2 weeks. Wow. Huge mounds of fire ants clinging together, killing cattle.
Whoa.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I think the fire ants would be more scary than the tornado. Especially in my case, because I would probably die.
I got attacked by fire ants over the winter, and it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, and I couldn't even help you. I was like, I can't get bit right now.
Making me itchy just thinking about it.
Curtis Chavez says, ooh, maybe Sasquatch is outside. That's why the dog is barking.
There's a bunch of people outside. I can hear them all out there talking.
Kenneth Crickmore, new big boy toy build. 2 20-inch BMX donors for reclining inverted pedal trike. Fat cat tire in reel on a swing arm, also driven by a 212cc 7.5 horsepower go-kart motor on the swing arm, mostly bike parts.
Wow, that sounds awesome. You need to post a picture of that, like in the Facebook group or something. When it's done, I want to see that thing. That's really neat.
He said it's camellia oil.
Ah, okay.
Let's see. Oh, now people are talking about Mad Dog 2020. That must mean they're our age. Roderick Robinson says, I have a 1914 Colt 1911 with original barrel and 15-row double diamond grips. What do you think it's worth?
Oh, I don't know.
That is wild.
But that's cool. Remember the other day we were watching some video and the guy was walking into that store in Utah.
Yeah.
And he's like, this one is from World War One. This one is from World War Two. This one is from 1920 something. And I'm just like, man, that's so cool. That's really cool.
Vox Guitars Rock. Dylan, what did you think? Oh, he said, what did you thunk? My mom used to say thunk. Who'd have thunk it all the time? Anyway, Dylan, what did you thunk about Eichel getting Cronwalt in the last game?
I think that some of these hits are... This is getting way more chippy than I thought it was going to get, and I hope nobody gets really hurt, because you don't want to see that. But, and I'm also surprised how many, like, suspensions and 10-minute majors and stuff we're getting this year. There's a lot of them.
Jason Albert said, did you know that MD stands for Mogan David? No, I didn't. Is that another, like, horribly marketed thing that just...
What?
MD 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Didn't either. Makes me think of the AR conversation we had the other day. Like, it just gets the wrong initials or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Or wrong...
Oh, yeah. What does AR stand for? Yep.
Yeah. Box Guitars Rock said, my first handgun was my dad's 1927 Colt 1911.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
I don't know. So it's out of order. Like, my phone is doing something weird again. And this comment, I don't even know when he made it. Comment from Tim Ziegler is stuck at the bottom. Like, comments will even pop up above it. But it's, like, stuck at the bottom of my window. And it said... It's amazing what you see when it's snowing in Colombia, like the country. I don't even know what that was about or why it's stuck on my screen.
Oh, wow.
But anyway.
Well, yeah, because it's wintertime there.
Is it snowing? Does it snow there?
I'm sure it does.
Isn't it close to the equator?
There's mountains and stuff.
Is there in Colombia? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Never been there.
And it's below the equator, so...
Angel Raven 444 said it's still 1-1 in the hockey game.
Good. I was going to ask. Thank you.
We're all caught up, though. And then Analog Kid Digital Man named another oil. He said Korobaro Sabaki oil.
Not heard of
So
that.
I don't know which one. Did he tell you Camellia? Like which
That's
one?
the one that he told me before.
Well, there's 2 listed there, so I don't know.
Cool. We're pretty caught up, huh?
Did you... Okay, so we talked about where we were. No, we didn't talk about where we were. Did you talk about last weekend?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Not just the knife show. Did you talk about the music?
No. Oh, no, I didn't. Who did we go see? Gary.
Daryl Scott.
Daryl Scott. Yeah. Daryl Scott is a songwriter from Nashville who's written tons of songs. Like, I didn't know who this guy was. We went to Eddie's Attic in Atlanta, which is this little room. Super cool place. And with some friends of ours, and we had a table... And it was like right at the stage, like right on the stage.
Like my foot was touching.
Like I could use his pedals for him, really close, and
very intimate.
And he was by himself, and he had a Gretsch, he had some acoustic I'd never heard of, and a pedal steel, and he would use his electric guitar and sit in front of his pedal steel and go back and forth. It was really cool. Anyway, it was just him by himself. I didn't know who this guy was, but I was like, man, he's a really good storyteller and he's a really good guitar player. He's a sloppy guitar player. Like, he wasn't good, but he was a songwriter, so his phrasing and stuff were just unbelievable. And then I'm hearing these songs, and I'm like, that's a Dixie Chicks song. That's another Dixie Chicks song.
That's Travis Tritt.
That's a Travis Tritt song. Realizing that, and I started Googling. I'm like, I know this song. I started Googling. Sure enough, he's written all these songs. Like, he is, and not shared, like, sole songwriter on that Travis Tritt song. That was a huge hit.
Yeah. It's a great day to be alive.
It's a great day to be alive. He wrote that. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so we just listened to him play his guitar and sing for an hour and a half. It was really fun.
I don't even think it was an hour and a half. I think it was like an hour. A little over an hour.
Maybe a little over an hour. It was really cool, man. It was great.
Super chill place.
Yeah, we're gonna go there
Table
again.
service, like that dude was on it. I don't
He
even know
was.
how he did that.
I don't either.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
No, it was great. We're going back. John Oates is playing there, and
I didn't buy tickets.
you didn't buy tickets for that one. No, I'm just saying that caliber of people. Like, it's a really neat place. It's a listening room, right?
I mean, it just makes me think everybody that's going there is probably really good, and I just don't know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. They do an open mic night there, and I've heard that it's like a 3-month waiting list to get on it.
You can go to that too. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to buy tickets to see open mic.
Yeah.
So it must be something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like it's a different version of like the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. I think a lot of people go there. They do get discovered there. There's a lot of things that happen there. But it was really fun. It was really cool. And then we went to the Blade Show the next day.
Savannah Norton says, I love Daryl Scott. See?
There
I mean,
you
the
go.
people we were with were fans. They'd seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know. So it's new to us. I'm not
Yeah,
saying he's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, I just hadn't heard of him. And for me, that's a lot of that stuff anyway. Like, I don't... And Nashville people are all like that. In that room, you could never have picked him out. He was just no dude.
He even sat down. He was tuning his pedal steel, and he sat down before the show started, and he was like, he told us, he was like, I'm not Daryl. I'm just his roadie. And I mean, I didn't even know. He could have been telling me the truth, but then he got up there, and I was like, oh, that really was him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just a cool guy. It was really fun. It was a cool thing.
I really liked his cuff. I can't find one like it. I've looked.
Yeah, that's something we'd have to go out west for, I think.
I mean, somebody's got to have it on Etsy. I've looked. I really liked it.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It was a good time. And then the next day we went to Blade Show from 9 in the morning till, I don't know, 2:30 or something.
Yeah. Shorter than I thought, but it was a long day.
Yeah, it was a lot of knives.
And then the gun store was like, he was like, they have a lot of guns. And we walked in, and they did. They had like a nice selection of guns. And then you turn the corner, and it like went all the way around the store. And I was like, whoa.
Think about it like the size of a Walmart. And the gun counter going all the way around the outside of the Walmart.
It was
He said
incredible.
they had 60,000 in stock. It was crazy. And I sort of wasn't even planning on buying one, but, well, you know, things happen.
I just wanted a loader, so I was a cheap one.
Which works awesome.
Yes. All right. Doc Silton said, I built a Colt Delta Elite 10mm full comped race gun in the 90s for IPSC competition. Super cool. Jason Albert said, now I'm thinking of Bartle and James wine coolers. Whew, that's taking it back.
Ooh, yeah.
Wait, they're not the ones in with the... No, who's the daughters that are in all this crap?
No, that's Seagram's.
Seagram's. Fox Guitars Rock. Any experience with BPS knives out of Ukraine?
I've heard of them. I have no experience.
Hogman Hawk says Boone's Farm for the win.
Thunderbird. One step further.
Somebody said Thunderbird earlier. I didn't know what that was, though. Hogman Hawks has a CZ82.
Ooh.
Kenneth Crickmore says, my all-time favorite gun overall is a Winchester Model 94 Trapper lever action with a
18-inch barrel.
Yeah, but he left one mark, so it looks like 18-foot barrel.
Somebody said a CZ81. This weekend, you can go to Patreon. I made a video about it. I bought a Canic Mete SFX Pro. So 5.7-inch barrel, compensated, light and slide. It's a race gun with aluminum magwell and all the stuff. Pretty cool.
Oh, all these people are smarter than me. So Savannah Norton said, did you take a picture of his cup? And I was like, his cup? He was drinking sparkling water. And then I think she meant his cuff that I was just talking
Oh.
about. So cuff. He had a bracelet cuff.
Yeah.
And then Roderick Robinson is like, hey, did you try the Google Lens thing to try to find the thing you were looking for? No, I didn't think to take a picture. I didn't take any pictures.
Good thing we didn't see Bigfoot.
We were. Okay, so we're not young, right? Like, we're not
Yeah,
young.
we're not young.
We were the youngest people there. No,
Except for the people we were
with.
They're younger than us.
Yes.
Yeah. But they were the youngest, and then it was us. And then everybody was like 60 and 70 years old. It was crazy.
And there was a couple of times where it was like audience participation, and there were some people in there that thought they were amazing singers.
Oh, yeah. And they were not.
And that cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think it's time to go watch hockey.
I know you're itching. You're like wiggly over there.
I know.
He's dying, y'all. But, so we'll have some news next week. We're going to go to the beach and see Kenny Wayne Shepherd. It's going to be amazing.
Yep.
Expensive.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. I always like doing these things. We will see you on Monday.